What's up, Wingnuts? It's me, the Delta W, and you know, Mo, I was just trying to settle with the joke. Change the formula a bit. You had to come in and ruin it all. One time I want to talk about Luigi's Mansion. The power goes out. You know what? I guess I'm just gonna go out and see if I can fix it. Well, let's just look at the game. Hopefully I'll have footage by the time I edit it. When you think about it, Mario's never really had a 2D Metroidvania game. It's dabbled with the genre with the Mario and Luigi series, but never truly embraced it. Luigi's Mansion, however, is a 3D Metroidvania, one of the few that is really popular. This is the first of 3 Metroidvanias you're going to be covering consecutively. So, let me give some history. Luigi's Mansion on the GameCube is probably the darkest Mario game, and one of my personal favorites. It's become a classic and spawned a series, including a 3rd game coming out soon. It stars Luigi, who has to travel through a mansion defeating ghosts and gaining items, like a good Metroidvania. I'm not only going to rate this game, but also talk about how it works as a Metroidvania. So let's start the adventure. Gameplay is polished and unique. You go through a mansion, picking up keys to go to the next room and looking for Red Luigi himself. The entire map is interconnected, and although the mansion is small, each room has something interesting in it. Now, I know what you're thinking. Delta, why is this mansion so interesting? Simple. There are hundreds of ghosts trying to not only psychologically horrify you, but also trap you in a painting for all eternity. That's interesting, right? Thankfully, Luigi has an Uno reverse card called the Poltergust 3000, a vacuum that sucks up ghosts. So here's how the game goes for the most part. You explore a bunch of rooms, capture a bunch of ghosts, and get a key to the next room. Eventually, you fight a boss and get access to a new floor. Now, this might sound repetitive, but several things keep this game pretty much fresh the entire time. The first is ghost types. You got your common ghosts, these animal ones, the ones that strangle you, shy guy ones, and a lot more really. You guys also have to catch boos. These need no flashlight to catch, but love to run and hide. There's 50, but you only need about 40 to beat the game. They all have funny names too, so that's a plus. But it's the portrait ghosts that are the best. These guys are all unique and have personality, and their personality are sometimes the key to defeating them. For your average ghost, you just hit them with a flashlight and pull against them to get them down their HP. But these guys are more powerful, harder to catch, and you have to do certain things before they show their hearts. These guys are one of the things that make this game great. I suppose I'll just talk about the bosses. They're some of the more memorable portrait ghosts for the most part. A baby ghost, a ghost that lives in a graveyard of an already haunted mansion, an amalgamation of boos, and an artist ghost that can create ghosts. Then there's the final boss, King Boo possessing Bowser. They're all pretty good, besides the painter, where you just hook up a bunch of smaller ghosts and then do a basic portrait fight. I also suppose we go into depth about the controls now, since I kinda suck at segues. The left stick is move, obviously. Sucking up is R, blowing out is L, and both use analog. A nice touch. B turns off the flashlight, which can help you catch ghosts in the beam quicker. A can interact with objects or make Luigi yell, Mario, even after he learns where he is. The right stick doesn't move the camera, since there is a fixed camera. Instead, it changes the way Luigi is facing, obviously helping with precision. Y is the map, which does its job, and X pulls up the Game Boy Horror, used for scanning items for tips and such. Z is the item and ghost menu, which also does its job. Now it's time to talk about what I believe is one of the key aspects of Metroidvania, progression. Most progression is locked behind certain keys, making a pretty linear game. But elemental abilities are moves that can help you with both progression and combat. While I do prefer the way games like Metroid and Castlevania handle ability-based progression, I don't think that Luigi really needs a wide and complex array of moves. In 2, collecting money gave you more power, which is kind of cool. In the 3rd one, there are several moves, but I'm not sure if they're going to be a lock behind some boss or something. I'm not sure how it'll stack against 2. Anyway, back to the main topic. These elemental abilities can help you with solving puzzles and defeating specific ghosts. They're good, but unless you're completionist, you only use these at certain times. But hey, I also need to talk about the puzzles. Sometimes it's getting the next room, sometimes the key to defeating a boss. Other times, it's there for an extra reward. But this game does have a fair share of puzzles. How does I interact with this ghost? How do I get the secret room? there any canonical reason for scanning mirrors sends you to the mansion foyer? These are all puzzles in the game. This game's puzzles really shine when it's the optional ones. Watering plants for money, getting in that game's secret rooftop, and many other optional parts, just some of my favorite moments. Puzzles rarely ever stump you though, they're just kind of fun to solve. So, how does this all add up? Not only is the gameplay super unique, but also fun. Exploration is tight, progression is okay, and the controls and combat are awesome. Along with puzzles, this gameplay is nearly perfect. 10 out of 10. Luigi's Mansion 3 may do it better, but it hasn't come out yet, so it's a 10 for now.
TV's working. That's working. Why isn't it only not working in my room? Okay, we're here. Huh. It's weird. It says everything's fine. I don't know. Maybe it's just for a second it just came back on. Let's go check. Well, I don't know. I couldn't find anything. Okay, I'll help you. Second.
So, the Delta W was making a review on the original Luigi's Mansion, eh? Just like everyone else. What's wrong with me?
Oh yes, of course. Let me answer your question in just a second. First of all, I have to ask something. What the heck is happening?
Ah yes, allow me to introduce myself. I am Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and nobody likes me. They always think my older brother is so much better. Why? What is up with that?
Yeah, I get it. No one wants what you have to offer. It's, they'd rather have what the original had. It's not that they think you're bad, they just want to play the original more. It's, and I'm sure there's not that, people don't like you. It's also just that the original is always, more loved and all. It's not that people, just hate you more.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm still sad that no one will review me though.
Dude, I would review you, but, you gotta do the original first, and, I don't have a 3DS capture card, so, I can't really. But, that's kind of what I do when it comes down to it. I'll try to more or less review underappreciated games. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you're right, it's not so bad. There are several people that love me. Maybe you're not so bad, the Delta W.
Can I just ask you one question, though?
Oh, sure, you can ask me anything.
Why the frick are you in my house? And it's true, Mole. Well, this has definitely been, a weird weekend and all. Honestly, this happens about every Tuesday. But, whatever. Let's just get on with reviewing the video.
The story is one of the most unique of any Mario game to date. So, the Mario Bros. Just happened to win a mansion at a contest. Yeah, just got a letter in the mail about it. Guys, like this video if you ever just won a mansion in the mail. So, Mario's all like, "Hey Luigi, I'm gonna go to our new mansion by myself. Just come up in a few hours." May sound dumb, but seeing how Mario's the most powerful guy ever in his universe, he probably didn't think he had to worry. So then Luigi comes up later and looks for Mario. Some ghosts attack him, and this old guy named Egad is trying to suck him up in his vacuum. But he sucked. Get it? This is why I don't make jokes in my videos. So, they both go back to the old guy's shed, where he tells Luigi the mansion was suddenly materialized a few days ago. He also says Mario went in there and never came out. So, Luigi uses the poltergust and sucks up a bunch of ghosts. Eventually, Luigi has the beautiful idea to press a button that releases all the boosts. So, now Luigi has a new thing to check off his bucket list. Anyway, Luigi meets his ghost fortune teller named Madame Vea, I don't even know, who tells him to bring her some of Mario's belongings. When Luigi does, she says that she sees Bowser alive and Mario trapped in a painting in a vision. Long story short, you get at the balcony where a bunch of boos attack you. This is one of my favorite parts of the game. Not only is the atmosphere uneasy and slightly terrifying for a Mario game, but the boss is pretty interesting too, even if it gets kind of stale and annoying at the end. Then the lights go out, you do some crap to get them back on, and you guy tells you about this painter ghost that could literally bring paintings to life. You defeat him and go to the basement. If you have 40 ghosts, you can enter where King Boo and Mario are. So King Boo says he'll trap you in a painting and then possess Bowser's body, trying to kill you. Finally capture King Boo and unfortify Mario using the machine you turn ghosts into paintings. And ends with the goofy scene of Mario with the frame through his head, and Luigi laughing hysterically, showing the relief that his journey is finally over. So, how's the story work? It's pretty good. I like the loose continuation of Super Mario 64 with paintings and such, and it's creepy without being too intense for kids. So, it's a 9 out of 10. While music and visuals aren't really great by themselves, they fit perfectly in this game. Visuals aged pretty good for a game of the time, but later titles like Zelda Wind Waker and Super Mario Sunshine do look better. It's things like the lighting, transparency, and other effects that make this game's visuals shine. It fits this game's atmosphere perfectly. I've actually heard that 3DS does look a little bit worse atmosphere-wise with some of the lighting and stuff, but whatever. There's honestly very few tracks in the game, and quite a few leitmotifs. I think this was a good decision though, since the main theme is great, and anything more would kind of be overdoing it, in my opinion. I mean, it's a small game in the first place. Although the boss themes could be better. Both of these work towards creating a good atmosphere, which is also a key part of most Metroidvanias. The vibe isn't really horror or terror usually, but instead just a feeling of unnerving or unsettling. I think this earns the game a 9 out of 10 for visuals and music. Content is always cited as the worst part of Luigi's Mansion. It's an extremely short game, and I'd say a good 5 hours of playtime on the first run if you take your time. There is a ranking system based on money collected and, how fast you beat ghosts that can encourage extra run-throughs, but you don't really get anything in return. You might want to play through again at least once for the Hidden Mansion, which is harder. Most of the difficulty is just having stronger enemies, though nothing real special. The 3DS does add multiplayer in a boss rush mode, but I've heard it's not always reliable, having slowdown and all that. I can say that all the content is packed in and focused with minimal downtime, however. Regardless, content definitely does bring this game down, and it's a 7 out of 10. 8.7 out of 10. More content, and this would have been a masterpiece. But as it is, it's a great experience that doesn't last long enough to reach full potential. I would recommend this game. Definitely get the GameCube version. 3DS is fine if you don't have a GameCube, but I don't think you should pay any more than $30 for the game. I have a really good feeling about the upcoming entry, and I hope it'll be a masterpiece instead.
Ha 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 ha! I'm back, fools! Oh crap!
Gosh, power's out again. That thing has my ultimate weapon. Hey, when did you get here? Okay, what are we gonna do? We gotta do something. No. Hey, Shadow? Can we stay at your place for the night?